Hello everybody, it's Martin Kiernan here and I'm at the Infection Prevention Society conference, which this year is in Brighton in the south of the UK. Wandering around the posters again, and I found a poster called Reduction of Hospital-Acquired Pneumonia and Clostridioides difficile infections with a focus on mouth care. And the person who's presenting it is actually a specialist practitioner. I'll let her tell you what she is in a moment, but it's Lemsalu from University Hospital Plymouth NHS Trust. So Catherine, you're part of the infection prevention team, but you're not a traditional type of member. You're not an infection control nurse as such, are you? What are you?
Nope, I am actually a dental nurse and have been for 28 years.
I mean, how did you get into the infection control team then? Did you get sucked in or did you approach them? How did a dental nurse end up working as a full-time employed member of the infection prevention team?
Good question. So I work at the Trust. I've worked there for 20 years, I think this year now. And I was a freedom to speak up guardian at one point in a secondment role.
What's that?
It's encouraging people to speak up against bullying and incivility and against cultures in the hospital that, aren't very helpful.
Okay.
And through that, we went into COVID, and I was helping people coming into me as a guardian about their infection prevention queries, if you like, wanting to wear masks. When it very first came out, the whole query around what is COVID, what's going on, and nobody likes to talk about COVID. But I was ringing the team regularly to make sure that they were happy with what I was saying, because I was coming from a dental perspective, and we were talking about wards, and there's a dental nurse in the team. Already.
Okay.
And one day she said to me, I've talked to you so much about this, why don't you just come and join the team and we'll put a job going? And that's it kind of went from there.
And you were interested by the idea, or thought, well, I might as well?
I said, well, I don't have wood, I'm not a nurse, I'm not this, I put all the blocks in front, I'm not good enough. And she said, well, I'm a dental nurse as well, so I know exactly what you've got.
Well, that's an interesting expression, not good enough, because
I'm in a hospital, so you sort of feel a little bit imposter syndrome, because everyone talks about the nurse on the wards, nobody talks about the AHPs.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't feel like maybe I had what it needed, but she encouraged me.
Passion is the most important thing I find in infection prevention to learn. We can teach you infection prevention. We can't teach you motivation and passion, which I think is a good starting point.
No, so
okay.
It's her fault.
Yes. Well, you've been in there a little while now. So how come pneumonia has reared its ugly head as an issue for you to start a project like this?
It's always been. And I actually, before I went to this team, I was involved previously implementing mouthcare matters in the Trust with the policy and the mouthcare assessment tool. So I already knew it existed in the Trust. I'd already been part of that team implementing it, actually, for this ward that came up in question this time round. Okay,
so mouthcare matters for the international audience is what?
It's about understanding how to clean the mouth, putting the mouth back into the body, if you want, for a quick way of understanding it. And it was implemented by dental nurses in Surrey and, I'm not sure, Surrey and East Sussex hospitals. And they were seconded out with NHS England, Education England, and they created this whole project around improving mouthcare in the Trust.
So this is an NHS in England project, which is all of the information is still readily available.
There. You can get it. There are audits. The education tools are there. The policy is there. You just take the policy, tweak it to your Trust, and away you go. The same with the assessment tools. So I knew we already had that in our Trust.
Any hospital in the world could adapt this and use
Absolutely, anyone can. It's there. They've got YouTube training tools, teach you how to brush teeth, how to care for dentures, how to look at the mouth, how to fill the tool in.
Yeah.
Even how to complete it.
Okay. Now, just because you've got a tool doesn't mean to say it's necessarily completed or used.
No. And that's what we found. So we had been part of rolling this out from the dental perspective. However, all these years later, the team weren't using it because I guess they had changed over staff. Nobody was aware how to fill it in, what they were doing with it. And that was where we had to go back and focus, like, how are we filling in the tool, teach them how to do it, why it's important, the whys, the most important things, education.
Oh, it has to be a why, otherwise nobody's going to do it.
What
was it for me almost? Yeah.
Exactly. And from everyone, bottom up. So we focused with the HCAs, getting champions on the ward, so that they could then teach up to their staff members that are around. Because in our hospital, we have a changeover every 3 months, I think it is. We have like a rotational medical staff changeover. So then they were responsible for educating the next lot of medical staff, which was then seen. So we did see that in some of our data, we had, I think it's a question here, benefit from training provided in mouthcare and assessing the mouth. So first time round, we had 100%. Yes, they did. Second time round, my training. So it's from me, my training, not so much, because they'd already had such a great set of training from the staff on the wards. They didn't feel that mine gave them any more benefit than what they'd.
That's actually an indication that the staff themselves are training really well.
So
Because a lot of people might go, oh my God, my training isn't good, but actually because that is already getting good training.
So my figures dropped for that.
Yeah.
But for them, that was a really good thing.
So how did you find training the medical staff in this? Because would they consider mouth care to be sort of beneath them and not really their issue?
Yeah, so they just need to know there's an assessment tool, really. Their focus is they know there's an assessment tool. Are they filling it incorrectly? Right. And what are the, it's got a red, amber, green rating inside for a weekly assessment as well of the mouth to see if there's been any changes between admission and a week later, because you can develop ulcers, all sorts of things that could be happening as to why you're not eating or drinking. Yeah. So it just gets you to look in the mouth and keep an eye on it, because it's all very well saying your patient is independent. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Are they still brushing their teeth? Are you prompting them? Much like if you wanted to go to suppression therapy for MRSA, they're using it, but are they using it correctly? Are you prompting them correctly? So it's back to mouth care.
Interestingly, from a piece of qualitative work I was a bit involved in Australia, they found that if the patient was classed as self-caring, the nurses didn't feel able to prompt them to clean their teeth because they thought that wasn't their job, but actually it is.
A simple question, have you brushed your teeth today? Have you had the opportunity to brush your teeth today? How are you wording it? And do you have the toothbrush and toothpaste to brush your teeth today? Or is it a denture and we need to get the denture cleaned and encourage them to rinse the mouth to clean out any bacteria from the mouth to prevent any other mouth problems, dry mouth or thrush or something like that?
Okay.
So, but there are posters, as I say, that come with the Mouth Care Matters stuff. And there's some lovely visuals on what to do, what to look for, how to measure your patient's mouth. But more importantly, it just comes down to understanding what they've got wrong with them and what have they got to brush their teeth. Yeah. And are they doing it once every 24 hours at least? Yeah.
So your focus was on improving mouth care with the hope of reducing pneumonia and the knock-on effect. Were you actually aiming at C. diff as an end goal at the start, or was that because we've reduced pneumonia?
No, it was all about the C.
It was all about C. diff.
Yeah, so they were an outlier for C. diff. They had high numbers. There had been prolonged outbreaks for C. diff. And looking back, the back investigation was that those patients had been treated for pneumonia, hospital-acquired pneumonias.
Okay.
Now we are on a neurological stroke ward, admittedly, but that was the kind of leading in factors. They had the common factor was antibiotics for pneumonias.
Right.
How do you prevent a pneumonia, or how do you reduce pneumonias? Is mouth care.
Reduce certainly the risk of getting.
Reduce, yes. Yeah. Take away the risk. Yeah. So that takes us back to that 24 hours within admission of having an episode of mouth care. And that mouth care is whatever you want to call it, whether it's a denture clean or a toothbrush in the mouth or just cleaning the soft tissues in the mouth to get rid of any food and things that are going to build up plaque in the mouth.
Yeah, because it's microaspiration. I mean, looking at the charts, there's quite a drop-off, isn't it? Because it seems that almost most months or every other month there was at least one case of C. diff. Yeah. And then it changed, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So from the peak to where we started teaching, we had one case of C. diff, toxin, and one non-toxin. And then it just came down.
Gone to zero now.
Gone to zero.
And that is how many months?
That was 10 months.
10 months.
Staying that for 10 months.
C. diff free. Unfortunately, though, as I heard you say earlier, you've not been able to quantify the reduction in antibiotics.
Couldn't get the OMS information. That was a side for me. It was that would be my crowning glory for this poster, but I couldn't get the information.
Did you get any coding data? I know coding data is often not great, but could you get any coding data looking at the number of people who got coded as having a pneumonia in your coding department?
I don't think we have that information.
Your people coding probably do have it. It might be worth having a little.
We could certainly think about it, and that's didn't occur to us. I guess
because it will be a diagnosis as part of the admissions.
Once AMS just said we can't do it.
See you in your bugger.
I'll edit that bit out. Yes, Tracy Cooper forgetting to much as the microphone. Fortunately, she wasn't wearing lipstick. Well, there we are. Right, so where are you going with this now? Rolling it out to other high...
So taking it to our subcommittee meeting with the matrons, and we're pushing forward the tool really as a patient safety paperwork, not just a piece of paperwork in their notes, which it feels like it maybe has been treated as such, and many people just, never mind, we haven't done that. Pop it in the back.
Are people able to celebrate this within the organisation? To the rest of the organisation, no, actually, look what's happened there. We can do that as well. Has that happened?
It will. I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah. I mean, through diffusion or...
I'm on the podcast, so...
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, would your trust senior managers know about this and what
They will.
it's been
They will
through?
find out through the subcommittee meeting, and then it will obviously go up to trust board.
It's a
in the
success of basic, fundamental, I would say, care, isn't it? And
Yes, it is.
Look at the output. So,
It is, but when you're doing it and when you're so close and you've got your nose in it, just for the simple reason I missed out the AMS bit, I felt like I had maybe not achieved and therefore failed slightly.
no, you've not
I
found.
was only when I then looked at my, my little chart here.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, well, actually, this has worked very quickly because often it takes you half your life to become a success in infection prevention. So
I might not have the proof of the antibiotic reduction. However, we had the reduced C. diff outcome.
yeah.
And
Well, should you find another ward that's a bit of an outlier, the second outlier,
I'm going to make sure we get
then
there.
you can get the AMS data next time as well.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. IT just kept going down. It was like every couple of weeks, IT went down. We lost everything that was on the computer systems. So,
Oh, well, never mind.
but more importantly,
The important outcome is patients are suffering less infection.
they are.
That's a-
And I encourage everyone to go and use that Mouth Care Matters.
yeah. Well, now they know why, they're much more likely to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks very much for talking to me.
Thank you, the man with the voice from
Yeah.
Vector Matters.
Thank you. So I've been wandering around the posters again, and I've seen a nice one called Developing a Surveillance Framework and Digital Tool for Vascular Access Device-Related Bloodstream Infections. And the lead author here is Sue Rowlands, who works at the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust in the UK, is here. So, Sue, first, thanks very much for agreeing to have a chat.
Not at all, not at all.
And tell me a bit about the background to this surveillance tool, because this is an Excel-based system, I believe. But what's the background? Where did it actually come from in the first place, and what's been the process up to date?
Right, well, I've been working in Wolverhampton for many, many years. I'm the IV team lead there now, but for many years I was involved in patient safety initially, reducing device-related bacteremia. So that actually encompasses urinary catheters, any medical device. But as my work went on, I was asked to implement the IV team at Wolverhampton, which I did. And so, of course, then my focus a lot was on intravascular devices and working out. I really wanted to establish our line infection rate per 1,000 days across the trust, including ITU, etc., etc.
Is that per device day or per patient day?
Per device day.
Okay.
And that, like I believed, the gold, like Match in Michigan was the gold standard.
Yeah.
Put an awful lot of effort into doing that with my team, HCAs collecting 9 days, etc. Got to a number of 0.0 whatever. I thought, yes, I've got the number. And then where are we? What does it mean? And really it meant nothing, because I wasn't just talking about centralised and ITU. I was talking about all vascular access devices, and I was using our own criteria at Wolverhampton to identify the bloodstream infection in the first place. So
Can I ask you how the people collected the line day data?
took an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
So HCAs would be trawling around ITU. We were trying to link into ICNARC, etc. But in the end, it was a case of them filling out a form on every patient and then entering it onto the ICNet computer system at
Okay,
work.
so it's HCAs, because we have an international audience, healthcare assistants, these are non-trained nursing support workers.
Yeah, that's right.
And ICNARC is a ITU-based
It's an
surveillance
ITU-based
system, isn't it, here in the
which
UK?
had got, indeed, a hell of a lot of data in, but it wasn't exactly the same as what we needed. So they were recording all insertion and removal days of all lines on ITU. So our own, the IV team ones that we'd been putting in, we got that easily, but the ITU ones were far more difficult to collect, a lot of manpower. And then, as I say, I realised I could go nowhere with my resulting figure. So I became a little bit frustrated by that, because I knew there was a lot of potential here. And I got in touch with colleagues, and then Carol Hallam, as part of the DRIPS programme and collaborative, was aware of the need for surveillance. So I became involved in that.
So that's the device-related infection prevention project run by the Infection Prevention Society, isn't it? That's right.
That's right, yes. And we created, way back in the day, this is before COVID, standardised criteria for all vascular access devices, which were based on the Public Health England central line criteria that they were using, but we'd expanded it out for all vascular access devices. And we created a word-based recording document and feedback document, so you can feed your information back to clinical areas. And there remains a lot of interest in that, and I'm absolutely really so chuffed because so many people in here today are aware of that work and are using that tool. But it had limitations and still has limitations because it's only a Word document, so you're not able to readily produce any sort of graphic graphs to to feed it all back. And so by working with other people and expanding out the group, one of who's standing here next to me, Ryan, he does all the IT stuff, and we and working collaboratively. That's what I love as well, that other people were struggling in silos in the NHS trying to get that data. We joined together 5 different organisations and we used little bits. So this bit is from Liverpool. That's their Excel spreadsheet they'd been using before.
Okay,
we amended
can we
that.
describe this? This is just a part of a spreadsheet that looks at the insertion location, the line type, the organism that's grown, if it's a positive blood culture, presumably, what the site is, femoral jugular, and what the indication for the line was in the first place.
Yeah. So all that information is actually really, really interesting to know, because we're seeing why we're putting lines in. We're seeing what the insertion sites are, and then what bugs are we growing that are leading to the problems.
Yeah.
And I think we've had over 540 lots of data from the 5 trusts that are using it over 2 years, and that information is really, really interesting. And we're going to look into more detail in that, and then produce an article in the future.
What couple of things then or even one thing that's come out straight away?
To me, it's I'm not going to lie, in Wolverhampton we do get MSSA growing from line-related bacteremias. But other trusts involved in this study hadn't got hardly, any of it at all. So why is that?
Yeah. And
we think it might be linked to sort of chlorhexidine bathing and stuff like that. But obviously, you've got to use your data correctly to come up with conclusions.
Once you've got some data, you can start looking at what the differences are between organisations. In that we're not all the same, and therefore practices are different. So.
Yes, and that's the other thing that we want to look into, adding on to this, like an audit tool to say, what sort of education are we doing? We've already included that between our 5 trusts, what sort of education we give, what sort of dressings, etc. we use. So we want to link in an audit tool to work alongside this. We've got a calculator on the front page, so you can work out if your bacteremia is likely to be related to a line or not. So it's the CLABSI dilemma. We've tried to put in a score tool on the front sheet of the front sheet is an introduction and instructions how to use it. Then there's 3 calculators to work out if it's definitely related to the vascular access or not, device or not. So there's a paediatric one, neonatal one, and an adult one. And then, the spreadsheet with all the information on regarding what type of line, particularly cannulas are included, because we can see quite strongly, one of the members of the group, one of the 5 trusts, can see a direct link between placing them in the ACF and having increased numbers of bacteremias, which in many ways makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, that's right. Our organisation is already managing to spot common themes within their own organisation.
And so it's brilliant that we're actually able to then not work as a silo, but pool it in together and just see where the variance is and what can we do. What am I not doing in Wolverhampton that they're doing there? To improve care for our patients, of course, but across the NHS and perhaps wider afield. So I'm really, really excited about the progress that we've made in so many ways. It's just that I'm the perfect tester for this, because I'm a nurse and I'm so motivated to get this right, and I just get it wrong. So when I fill in the Excel spreadsheet, I will just do it wrong somehow, and I'll copy and paste wrong, and the underlying formula somehow collapses.
Yeah, that's the issue with Excel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's and we feel that we're seeking funding to make a more robust sort of app, maybe a power app or something, and then trial it for a couple of years further, using that over a wider group of organisations. And then wouldn't it be brilliant if we could do something wider that's freely available to
Collect the
all?
data more locally on a handheld or something like that.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the problem with Excel, isn't it? It's so easy to input slightly the wrong data, which then throws the whole thing out.
Yeah, and I'm motivated to do it
Yes.
right.
So
and
if
I've
you've got
put
somebody who's
it
not
up.
motivated,
Yeah,
that
they
might
just
be...
go, whew, I've had enough.
Can other people join this group of people who are interested? Is this actually available to people?
Oh,
or are you
we
keeping
haven't
it within
rolled
the
it out.
group?
We're keeping it within because of this issue of it breaking.
Yeah.
So if we can just make it more robust, then we've had a lot of interest expressed from people, and I'm so keen. And I know as a group, not just me, we're all so keen that we can push it about further. We've written one article that's in a draft format about to be published regarding the methodology behind it. Then we're going to do something with the data that we've got to write a more in-depth article. All of this with the sort of mindset of please, seeking support in making it into a more robust, easily available, easy to do, because we're well aware of people's, the demands on their time. So that's where we are, and we really want to go. I'm really hopeful that this can have quite a good benefit on patient safety and patient care.
Okay.
But it's just, we're at this point now where we're just seeking support to make it a sort of more robust tool with secure data storage as well. So then we'll be able to compare easily between organisations. So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much.
No, you're
Good luck
very
with it.
welcome. I'm really chuffed to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.